Alright everyone, I'm back with another video once again, and on the phone I have with me, or not really the phone, well, she's on her phone, I'm on my laptop. I have RAPTORSGURL. How's it going?
Hey.
It's been a while since we talked, very long time actually. It's been about a little over a month now. So people have been asking me what my thoughts were to the coronavirus and, you know, ordeal that's going on. So how are things holding up in Canada?
Crazy as ever, just as shit-faced over here as it is, like, down there with y'all.
Okay, so are there a lot of people infected up there?
Not much.
Have y'all had any reported deaths?
Only 1 or 2 deaths.
Okay, so y'all are lucky. We have 3 in Texas, but I think total in the state of Texas, in the United States, like 60 right now. You know,
okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, RAPTORSGURL, man. A lot of people are panicking. Like, they literally, Fort Bend and yesterday, Harris County ordered the shutdown of all bars and restaurants. So for restaurants, you're not allowed to dine in, but you can only do takeout.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, now it's in Fort Bend. I went to Burger King. I went to Burger King earlier, and you can only go through the drive-thru. Like, you can't dine in.
Jeez.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead.
So they're not even letting you go on and fucking drink, but
nope.
It's worse enough that they're taking our sports away, but to take away our, like, going out to drink rights, that's just...
But it goes to show you, man, maybe this virus is real serious, because at first, when they first announced it, like, I didn't take it seriously. I just like, oh, you know, that's a problem in China, I don't give a shit. And then whenever the news was breaking out saying, well, this carrier came in and all these people got here, and, you know, well, they were quarantined, but they're fine now. Like, something in the back of my head told me there was a problem. It was only going to get worse.
Oh, man, tell me about it.
You know, Tom Hanks got it. His wife has it. They said Kevin Durant has it. 4 Nets players tested for it. Rudy Gobert.
Durant?
Yeah, Kevin Durant has it. And it's like, you know, I understand it's like they say it's like a small, it's like usually it's going to kill like older people that's like 80 and up. But like, there was a newborn that died, I saw in the UK from it. And there was like a 21-year-old guy from Brazil that died from it. So it is possible that young people can die from it. I guess it's if you have a weak immune system, but shit. I mean, based on the foods we eat and the stuff we drink, you can make the argument that all of us fucking have bad immune systems.
Seriously, I eat like shit. I drink iced tea every day.
I mean, look, I'm not the healthiest motherfucker, and people were telling me, oh, because of your age, you'll be fine. I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. Like, I think this virus is almost like the plague. It's almost like it's like having the flu, but 10 times worse, because, I mean, I know people are saying you shouldn't overreact and don't watch the news, you got to live your normal daily lives, but look, listen, man, every day it seems like there are thousands of more people that are infected.
It's multiplying every day, yeah.
It's almost like an end of the world scenario. Almost.
I don't know.
So, and everyone's jobs are being affected, because they're like saying, well, if you're self-employed, you don't have to worry. I'm like, no, it trickles down to everybody's job, because now people are so nervous, they're canceling jobs and shit now. Like, we had some jobs that we were supposed to do, and people are calling and canceling it.
Jeez.
You know why? Because your basic instincts kick in. Like, what? What?
You're self-employed, so you're self-employed, right? So you're getting like no clients.
Well, we have some clients, but the problem is like some of them called in. But here's the thing, though: everybody's business, whether you're a private sector, government job, or whether you're in the self-employed, everybody's getting affected, because now people don't want to be around you. They think you have it. If you cough or sneeze, people are fearful. I mean, it's kind of chaos, because your basic instincts kick in. So the only thing you want, or the only thing people are seeming to buy, is food, water, and toilet paper.
It's a mob mentality kind of situation.
Yeah, so people who are going out to eat aren't going to go out to eat because going out to eat is really not a need, it's a necessity. You know, like that's sort of like if you got nothing else better to do, you want to stop and get a bite to eat. Well, people are like, well, I'll just eat at the house. You know, and that's how restaurants are getting affected now. It's scary, man. A lot of people are getting laid off. I see every other thread, somebody's like, I just got laid off. I just got laid off. It doesn't matter if you're in the oil field, you're cutting grass, you're a barber. Even my barber shop is affected.
Wow.
Like when I went to get my hair cut on Friday, Tim, my barber, he told me specifically that he told me that only what was it? He said that only what did he tell me? No, he told me that I was his third customer, and usually he gets like 25 a day. And when I went in at 5:30 in the afternoon, he told me you're the third person that came in. I was like, are you serious? Like, yes.
Wow.
Dude, it's scary.
Yeah. Scary, sad, pathetic.
What about your dad's job? Is it being affected?
Nah, he's good.
He's in the oil field, right?
Yeah, but they're still getting work somehow.
Okay, well that's a good thing, and bless your dad for God bless your dad for still having his job, because I definitely don't want to see anybody out of work. But there's people out of work that are literally like scared because they're wondering how their bills are going to get paid, and it's like it crushes me just thinking about that, because I'm wondering, damn, when are we next? And it's a trickling effect. Like everybody's job's getting affected. It don't matter if you have a government job, private sector job, a self-employment. It doesn't matter. Like everybody's getting hit. Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. My boyfriend is a mailman, and he used to get mail from all over the world, like Vietnam, Venezuela, Siberia, all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And all of those borders are shut down. So
he's not receiving any mail?
Mail from U.S. and Canada.
Okay, so he's not receiving any mail.
He is, but just from the U.S.
Oh, okay. So he still has a job, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, no, that's good.
He's not getting the mail from all those other countries that he normally delivers to.
Yeah, Italy's on lockdown. Even in Houston, I know in Austin they set a curfew at 7 p.m. I'm anticipating they're going to do that here. Here's a scary thing. I was talking to Sean Michael Polston last night. I want to give him a shout out if he watches this video. We were talking about this, and he's a conspiracy theorist, and like he was telling me that he thinks that this is a one world government, that this is a plan to do martial law, and that eventually, and I'm not saying this is any truth to this. This may not be true, but he believes that it's a one world government, and that the United States and Europe is going to try to form some sort of one world government, and that they're going to try to take out the cities, like military strikes. That's why he's saying that they're releasing the National Guard in 6 states already. I think Mr. Greg Abbott just he just called for the National Guard to come in, and they're saying that that's like one step close to martial law, and that he thinks the powers to be, they want to go to war with us, like the citizens, sort of like a selection process, like to take out the weak, and that they want to start killing off people that are non-taxpayers and stuff. Like he was telling me about this. It's scary thinking about this kind of stuff, because like I would have said years ago, nah, this ain't true. But when you see all this weird stuff happening around you in the last 3 weeks, it kind of like manifests in the back of your mind. What if he's right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. We were talking about the possibility of this new world order, this one world government. He's telling me that even if the United States and Europe decided to do that, like if the United States decided to go to war against its citizens, he's saying that the citizens outnumber the military like 155 to 1. So he's telling me that they may bomb some of the cities, but they would lose the war. And that China and Russia China and Russia would have to jump in and team up to fight Europe and the United States, because essentially Europe and the United States are working together to form a one world government. That's the rumors. Okay, this is all conspiracy theories. I'm not saying that that this is going to happen. I don't want to scare people, but this is the stuff we were talking about last night. And I'm telling you, when he tells you this shit, it makes the hairs on your arm flare up. It's that cringy when you get in these conversations.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. Just me telling you all this shit, doesn't that make you cringe a little bit? And then you see all this shit going around?
Yep.
You know, some people, Raptors Girl, they say that this virus doesn't even exist. That this is their plan to attack by scaring us. And last night, I kid you not. Look, listen. Last night, they cut off the internet in the state of Texas. We went out without internet for 5 hours. Yes, it was. Yes, it was scary, because when I tried to log on, when I tried to get on,
I couldn't call you.
Yeah, and like Polston said,
I called you at like 11 o'clock your time.
No, the internet was down on the laptop, but not on the cell phone. So me and him were communicating on there, and we're like, "What are we gonna do if the government shuts down the internet and the cell phone? Because you know, if you shut down the internet and the cell phone, that means people cannot communicate. So if the government was to launch attacks on its citizens, you can't communicate back and forth for coordinates. So they'll just be picking us off." So he was telling me basically that if they are doing this, if this is their plan to form this one world government, and that they're willing to take us out, to turn on us and kill us, then he's saying we would have to riot. That's the only way, and that Europe, the citizens of Europe, would have to help too.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, it's some What?
How is this even possible? How would it even be remotely possible that the virus doesn't exist? Like,
well, this is another rumor here. We're going to get into another rumor, okay? They're saying that this virus could be created a number of ways. It could be an alien-born virus, which that's a possibility, that aliens are taking over, right? So there's that theory, that the aliens are trying to wipe us out, then they're going to launch attacks from the sky. Sort of like the movie Mars Attacks, or the movie
okay,
that with Tom Cruise. The World of Worlds, some shit like that. Here's another theory. Another theory is that China created this virus to stop the protest that was going on.
That's what I think is actually truly the case.
Okay, well, here's two theories though on that. Number one is they created the virus to stop the rioting and the protest that was going on in China, and that it got over, and that the virus got out of control. And number two, the reason why China created the virus was because the United States and Trump backed out of a trade deal with them, because China owns most of the imports around the world. Like they have over electronics, cell phone devices, Bluetooth and headphones and all that. They have the rights to almost all the imports, because most of that comes from China. Well, Trump just basically said, well, I'm posing tariffs and I'm cutting deals out. And they think, there's conspiracy theorists think that China created that virus as a retaliation to Trump turning down the trade deal with them, or cutting them out. So there's that theory too. Then there's another theory that China and Russia are working together to take over the world, and that they released this virus. Because remember, the United States is the strongest nation in the world. So if you attack the United States, by biological warfare or chemical warfare, you can take over the rest of the world, because you're taking over the highest axis power if you take out the United States. So if you release a biochemical agent in the air that's airborne and you can kill off a lot of people, you can take over. And a lot of people are thinking that. Go ahead.
I think it's the first China theory. I think they were trying to stop the riots, and I think they had no idea that it would get this out of hand. I think they tried to just kind of make people a little sick, and they had no idea what would get this out of hand, and now they're like, oh shit, people are figuring us out.
Well, the thing is in China, allegedly now they contain the virus because they got it down to like 20% because like everybody's locked up inside their house, so they're trying to stop the spread of the virus. What if for some chance that they can control this virus to who it attacks? Like if, for example, they had to kill some of their own people because they were rioting, right? Now it's spread around the world. So if you're China and you're like, I want to take over, I'll let it kill off most of the people from around the world, and then I'll take over. But if they can control that virus, if they have an antidote or something to slow it down or to stop it or put it in remission, that means that it makes sense of the theory that they're planning to launch a takeover of the United States.
Huh.
This is all just theories, okay? I can't verify the authenticity. I'm just telling you the stuff that I'm hearing from some of my friends. It's scary. It is.
Yeah.
But I also think that the United States, our politicians, whether it's Republican or Democrat, I think they know more than they're telling us.
I know.
You know what's the scary part of this whole thing?
Everything.
Yeah, but here's the scary part. It's not just the economy, but the scary part is if there's not enough antidote to go around.
Yeah.
That in itself scares the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember reading on the Black Plague back during the Renaissance or whatever era, and it killed like 1/3 of Europe's population.
Holy shit.
Yes, yes. And every 100 years you have a plague. Like we had the Spanish flu back in, what was it, 1920? Then we had like another type of outbreak in 100 years before that. This would be the 4th outbreak in the last 100. Every 100 years there's like a major outbreak, and it's like this one is the next one,
Yeah.
and it's.
Oh yeah.
Here's another theory that just came out of my ass. What if God's punishing us for our sins, like for all the things we do in the world, all of us collectively as humans, all the bad things we do?
I don't remotely believe that. I'm a Buddhist, so
Oh, you're a Buddhist?
yeah.
Oh, okay. What does Buddhism believe? What's that belief?
Reincarnation, and that we connect with the universe and nature rather than some god.
Okay, so
The universe has its own universal energy.
so would you say that the universe maybe is sort of doing a natural
No, the universe doesn't punish.
Oh, okay. So it's a spiritual thing?
Yep.
So in other words, there's no king or there's no higher above to report to.
I don't believe that. No.
Okay. So it's more of a universe energy, you're saying?
Universal energy, and we're all connected.
So would you say Mother Nature is its own entity, or is that just part of nature, or is that just part of the universe?
It is its own thing in a way.
Okay, so Buddhism, they don't really pray to anybody, right?
No. You just send out positive thoughts to the universe.
Wow. That how long you been a Buddhist for?
About 2 years.
How many years?
2.
Oh, okay.
And, can I tell like a story completely unrelated to Corona?
Yeah,
Since
sure.
we're on the topic?
Why not?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So, my grandpa passed away about 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
So, there's a few of my family members, they put together things into bins at random that, like, we get. And my grandma had a Buddha that she bought in Hawaii a long time ago. And nobody else in my family is Buddhist, and at the time I didn't even know I was gonna become Buddhist, but I ended up like receiving my grandma's Buddha 5 years ago. So
you just kind of little by little just fell fascinated with the religion? You like did your homework and studied it and all that?
yeah.
Okay.
But how does a Buddha end up here when I end up being Buddhist eventually, but not knowing so at the time?
So what were you
it's
before?
Just the kind of things you can't explain.
So what religion were you before you were Buddhist?
I wasn't anything.
Oh.
I wasn't really anything.
So you weren't an atheist?
No, I was agnostic.
Agnostic? Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, this virus is scary, and it's like you think of like stuff like Dawn of the Dead and all this stuff. You go back and watch all that stuff, and you're like, wow, what if this is the end? Like, what if this is the end of times? Like, what if maybe
it can't be? It can't remotely be because like hardly anyone is dying. So
that's as of now.
You would need some universal nuclear, like you need some nuclear explosion of Earth or some shit for it to actually end.
Well, let's just say hypothetically, you know, based on, I think the outbreak's been since December. Like, my curiosity is let's say a year goes by and the numbers get higher, like in the 100,000s. I know that's still a small proportion of the 9 billion people that live on Earth, but it's still just curious if that number is going to double or triple or quadruple in 3 or 4 or 5 years, and we're all just going to have to be locked up in our houses because you don't know who has the motherfucking virus. You know? It's scary. So you're not really too worried about the virus, are you?
No.
I understand.
In terms of me, in terms of myself, or people in my life, because I'm worried about certain people in my life.
Either or.
I'm worried. Okay, well, I'm worried about older people in my life because I have a lot of older friends, and I have some older friends that smoke a lot. So I'm definitely worried about them, but I'm not worried about myself because
it looks like in Canada you guys got a tight grip on it. If you're saying you only have one case, that for as big as Canada is not bad.
Well, I actually don't know that to be certain.
Okay.
I was just throwing a guesstimate number out there. I know I should have looked at the facts before we did this video, but
do you think that the media is sort of making people hysterical?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't have.
What's making people hysterical though, especially.
Especially what?
What's making me hysterical is like the fucking sports.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have any sports going on right now, and like Vince McMahon is the only one in WWE that's still gonna have WrestleMania, but he said it's gonna be with no crowd. They're gonna have it at the Wellness Center. I guess that's where like NXT's at. So they're gonna have the whole event there because Raw and SmackDown been without an audience. I don't know if you knew that, but the last 2 episodes, they've had it with no audience in the stands. So it's kind of fascinating. And WrestleMania is gonna be the exact same way. That's gonna be weird watching an event with no crowd.
Very.
I mean, you're literally talking about a major sporting event like wrestling. WrestleMania, the Omega, is going to have an event with no fans. Wow.
So every bar in Houston is shut down than my precious Diablo.
Well, you can only do take-in or take-out. You can't. My bad. You can't dine in.
That's bullshit.
I mean, but a lot of these waiters and waitresses work off of tips, so you have to dine in, right? So if you, let's say for example, if you order in, you do takeout, then you're only going to tip the person behind the register. Like the waitress or waiter's not going to get any of that. Now they may divide it up, but even then, you're not. They don't tip really high off of takeouts. You make more money off of the people that dine in. Yeah, and that's unfortunate because I know a lot of people in the restaurant industry that are hurting right now, and it's like, how are people supposed to get their bills paid at the end of the month? Because that rent's still due, that mortgage is still due, The light bill still due, the AC bill still, you still got to buy food. I mean, you have to think about all these things, and people are literally locked down. And that's why it seems like if there's some sort of new world order, some sort of one world government in place, you would have to imagine this would be the perfect time. Because think about it, sports in itself is a theory. Conspiracy theorists believe that sporting events are just there to distract the masses from what's really about to take place, and that's what you're seeing right now. So a lot of people, like, that's why when they took the sports away, or you see like there's no sports going on in the world right now, as you can see, it looks like the conspiracy theorists have a point that sports was a distraction from what was going to take place. And honestly, I'm not saying that any of this is true, because it's probably going to be false. We'll probably be laughing about this months from now. Hopefully, thank God. But if you look at 6 states, the National Guard has been deployed. New York, Texas, Florida, West Virginia, like 2 other states. I don't know every single, but I know 6 states right now. Just imagine by the end of the month if every state deployed their National Guard and then they started attacking. That's scary.
Holy shit.
Because look,
yeah.
Our military has access to aircraft. They have access to the jets. They have access to missiles. They have access to all the tanks. So we're literally fighting with rocks and stones like the Stone Age, throwing it at a tank. Now, we may have some people that'll bear arms and fight back, but it's going to be a costly battle. I'm talking about there's going to be millions of people who are going to be dead as a result.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying any of this is going to happen. I'm just thinking ahead of time, if worst case scenario, this new world order, this one world government happens. The theory is the United States and Europe is working together to form a one world government in which they can operate. And it's scary thinking about that.
I know. Terrifying.
And now, as much as we don't like the Russians or the Chinese, if this was to happen, our military turn on us, and the president or his administration and all the other politicians turn on us like they always do, and they team up and decide to launch attacks against the citizens, the only way we win this war is Europe would have to be involved, then we would have to be involved, our citizens, and then we would have to have cooperation from all the other nations of their citizens to revolt. That's the only way we'd win.
Yep.
Because the military cannot wipe all those people out. Now, they'll probably take some of us out, but they're not going to kill us all. So that would be a victory in itself, because there's not enough manpower. Unless they nuke and launch chemical warfare, that's my only biggest fear, is they start bombing and stuff. I'm not saying any of this is true. I may just be paranoid right now. I'm just giving a scenario. I'm just telling you stuff I'm hearing. Me and Polston, we had like a 3-hour conversation about this last night. With all this shit.
Yeah.
I have been so stressed the last 3 days, thinking about this shit in my head. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's the worst is yet to come? How much worse could it possibly get? The fear of the unknown is what's even the scariest part.
Oh, yeah.
The worst is yet to come. I feel like we haven't even hit the worst of it yet.
You don't think? I heard on the news the other day, they're saying it's going to peak, but it's going to go downhill very soon. So
when did they say this?
A couple weeks ago.
And
on
it's
Fox News.
And 2 weeks later, it's doubled and tripled.
True.
So you see how scary that sounds?
Yeah.
I really wish Polston would have been on here, because he's a former veteran. He used to be in the Army or the Navy, I think. I think it was the Navy he was in. And he told me that about all these scenarios and stuff. He's very better equipped at the knowledge than I am. I just picked up little bits of information, but just honestly, even if sports was still going on right now, it's this shit still scares the shit out of me.
Huh.
I've always been a guy that never wanted to get into politics. I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to interfere. I don't care about that. Let the politicians and people who give a fuck where. I just want my sports. I like living my life. It doesn't affect me. And now when this virus hit in China, oh well, it's better them than me. Then it went to Europe. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh well, the boats are arriving in San Antonio with people who are quarantined. I'm like, really? And then now all of a sudden you're hearing all these cases popping up and all these people dying, and it's all happened simultaneously. Then people are fist fighting at the grocery store, and they're fist fighting and they're literally beating each other up over toilet paper. They're fist fighting RAPTORSGURL over fucking toilet paper. This is the end of the world. And assuming that this virus does wipe us out, because remember, people kept saying that, oh, well, no virus in human history will ever wipe us out. But think about it. I'm pretty sure, I know the dinosaurs aren't intelligent to the sense to where they can talk, but I'm pretty sure they felt complacent, and then the asteroids and the meteors hit the Earth and wiped out the dinosaurs. So what makes you think that a virus or a man-made virus or a alien-born virus, or however this conspiracy theory is, what makes you think it's not capable of wiping us out? It's just, again, I'm living my life to the best I can. I hope and pray that I don't get it, or none of my family gets it. And I just hope we can beat this damn thing. But they're saying on the news that you're looking at least a minimum of July or August before they could even reassert this and look at it and say, okay, these are the results. This is what's going to happen. I don't even think our politicians, our government has a legit plan on how to stop this thing.
This is so fucked.
We're on lockdown until the end of March. Allegedly, Mr. Abbott said he's going to maybe pose a curfew that's going to take into effect by the weekend. So that means by 7 o'clock, every citizen has to be off the streets. Yes, it don't matter how old you are. The only way you can leave is emergency. You can't be out of the house. I mean, in your front yard or backyard, sure, but you can't. Yeah, exactly, because there's a curfew in Austin right now. Ohio's on lockdown right now.
It's not that crazy over. It's not that crazy up here. There's no freaking lockdowns in Edmonton, but there is in Saskatchewan.
I noticed that all the lockdowns are taking place in all the heavy condensed areas where there's a lot of people.
Well, there's barely anyone in Prince Albert, and that's like where I heard was the lockdown in Saskatchewan.
You live in a small town, right?
So many people. No, I don't. I live in a massive fucking city, and it's not locked down, so.
Oh. Let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
I know.
So, what's your biggest worry? What's your biggest fear? Let me get my cat.
My family getting it.
Me too. That's my biggest fear too, is my family getting it. And
yeah. To
tell you the truth, people have asked me, how come you haven't made any legit videos in so long, 2-3 weeks? You only made re-uploads of other videos you did on other people's channels. I'm like, how am I supposed to have the energy to do that with this fucking virus? It just literally takes you out of the mood.
Oh, I'm no stranger to energy being drained.
You alright?
This video was, yeah, sorry, lagged out. Video was necessary.
Yeah, this video is necessary. Do you think we beat this virus?
I think it'll take quite a while, but I think in the long run, yes.
Now, oh yeah, I told you that there's a theory it's a spaceborne virus, right? That there's aliens that are supposed to take over.
Yep.
There's that theory too. I mean, I don't know if I believe that, but look, all the shit I've seen right now, I don't take anything off the table. Nothing surprises me at this point.
Yeah.
Some people say that Donald Trump is a down-low communist and he's launching an attack to take over. Look, nothing surprises me anymore. Polston was telling me that there's a possibility Trump, Bernie, Biden, and all these guys are working together to form the New World Order, to form a one-world government. And you know what I told him? Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or whatever side of the plate you're on. This virus has no discrimination. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, child, old, young, dog, cat, whatever. Or I don't know if animals can get it, but as far as like the human concern, they don't.
No, they can't.
This virus don't give a fuck what political party you are. It's not about Democrat or Republican anymore. It's not. In my opinion, it never was. This whole fucking election, this whole presidency is a big distraction. What?
I disagree. It was always about Republican and Democrat.
Well, what I mean by when it comes to an end of the world scenario, it's not about what political faction you are. We're all fucking gonna get affected.
I guess, yeah.
I'm worried about the economy
But that
falling.
doesn't mean I remotely agree with. Yeah, I'm very worried about that.
If the economy falls, if you thought that when Trump was talking about a 3% unemployment rate, well, let's see what the numbers are at the end of this year. More like 50%, 70% of people out of work. That's scary because then the government has the ability to control you because you're broke. You won't have a fucking job. You're literally going to be dependent on the government for everything, for food, water, shelter. And that's where they can control you. They can control you by your assets, by your money. And if they can't take your guns away, they can control you in this aspect by starving you out. It's scary times right now. And honestly, if let's say Sean Michael Polston is watching. Let's say pretend he's watching this video later on when it gets uploaded. Let's assume, brother, you're watching it right now. If assuming what you're saying is correct, then regardless if you're Republican or Democrat, we would all have to team up together. We would all have to have one common goal, and that's to fight the enemy that's trying to take us out. Because it's not about left or right anymore. It would be about the one world government trying to take us out. So we would actually have to team up, put all of our political bullshit aside, and we'd have to team up to fight them for the survival. Otherwise, they wipe us out.
To be honest, though, I don't like that. I hate that. I do not like that whatsoever.
Look, we have the right to bear arms. We all have guns in our families for hunting purposes, and we follow all the laws. But if assuming that this one world government shit is true and they want to take us over, that's where our right to bear arms comes in. And everybody that has a weapon would have to fight. We would have to fight to survive. We'd all have to team up together. My theory is they're going to knock the internet out. They're going to knock the fucking cell phones out. So that way we can't communicate back and forth. That would be my biggest fear.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, this may not even be true, RAPTORSGURL. This is probably just bullshit. But I'm just saying. You know?
Yeah, but society survived easily many years ago without technology. Like, we'd be fine.
We've evolved throughout all forms of extinction. Diseases, malnutrition, the meat eater, stuff like that. Like, we've managed as species to survive through millions of years. I'm just wondering if there's something bigger that's coming in store.
I don't know. We'll see.
So anyways, what was I going to ask you? Oh, how much is gas up? Oh, I don't know if gas prices dropped, but guess how much gas was here in Texas? I went to fill up today. Gas, the cheapest gas I saw, which a buddy of mine saw one downtown, but I wasn't going to drive all the way down there. Corey, you know Corey. He saw gas prices at $1.49 a gallon for regular unleaded. I filled up for $1.79 a gallon today. The cheapest gas I've ever filled up on ever. Yep. Because think about it. The reason why the oil companies are affected by this is because people aren't going out to spend money. They're going straight to work. They're going to the grocery store, coming home. Straight to work, grocery store, coming home, paying bills. Straight to work, grocery store, coming home. So guess what? No one's going out. So that means they're not burning as much gas. And that means it affects the pumps and it affects the oil companies. So they have to go down on the prices. They have no choice. So they're saying, here's a prediction I'm going to go over with you. They're predicting by the end of all throughout the year, be expecting gas prices to be under $1 a gallon. They're talking about 80 cents, 90 cents a gallon. That shit hadn't existed since the 90s. You're talking about something that hasn't happened in 30 years. Let me let this cat out. Get out, Jasmine. Anyways, yes. And it's, you're looking at some historical changes and events happening in so little time. You know, it's funny how whenever we need help from our government to help us in certain situations and to help with corruption and stuff like this, they never can seem to address it. But when it comes to a fucking plague like this, notice how they're making so many decisions in a matter of seconds. How Republicans and Democrats can come together and make decisions like that when it comes to a catastrophic event. But when it's regular time and we need help, people need help in certain issues, like with our health care, with the rise in cost of gas prices or the rise in cost of living, our mortgage rates are going up, the pricing of houses is going up. Notice how they're nowhere to be found whenever we need help. Or we need help with jobs, we need help with infrastructure, we need help to fix the potholes in our fucking streets of the city of Houston. Our streets, you got potholes in the middle of the road, and they never can touch those certain things. But whenever it's a catastrophic event, notice how all of a sudden they're able to put all their bullshit to the side and able to work together.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that I would like to see. Like, why does it have to take a deadly virus like this and a plague like this that's threatening to wipe out over 100 million people by the time this is done? It's going to kill over 100 million people, they predict. How is it that all of a sudden they can make these fast, quick-paced decisions? Like, for example, they just cut off the ability, like my registration's due next month. They just wave that off because they're saying if people congregate to do the registration, then they can spread the virus. Or now my license, I have to renew my license in June, right? Okay, now they're saying, oh, well, we can't have you go up to the DPS because then everybody goes up there and they're going to spread the virus. So it's like, how is it that you can make decisions like this, but during a crisis, but when it's just regular on the day, you guys can't make a decision to save your life? And this is what our tax dollars is paying for. Now they're talking about, Trump is talking about giving Americans $1,000 a month. And I don't know if he means $1,000 per household or $1,000 per each person that's over 18. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but that's allegedly the plan in 2 weeks. I don't know, it could be speculation, but my issue is it's funny how when we talk about, because that is a form of socialism, right? I don't mean to get into politics. That's a form of socialism. If people say, well, we don't want hand-me-downs. But in a crisis like this, we can weigh that and say, okay, yeah, you guys need it because with this plague, you don't have jobs. But yet when it's just normal day, when people need help, the government is nowhere to be found. In everything.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this wakes us up and people can start working together instead of working against each other.
Yeah.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat. Well, I guess we're going on, well, this video is definitely going on probably 44, 45 minutes now. Is there any more else to cover, or do you think we should shut her down?
We can shut her down. Alright,
well, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, please feel free to, you know, DM us at the bottom, whether it's Raptors Girl or myself. If you guys want to be in future little group discussions like this, I'm willing to make exceptions. If you're cool, if you're not trolling, that's fine. And, you know, it's always cool to kind of get to know people off of here and sort of convey. And, you know, people, don't get me wrong, this virus thing has been scaring the shit out of me the last couple of days. Like, to the points where the coronavirus is on my mind 24/7. Like, literally, while I go to work, I'm so stressed right now, I want to cry. That's how bad it is. And I feel so sorry for all these people who are losing their jobs. Because the whole economy is getting fucked in the ass right now. We'll do a follow-up video, Raptors Girl.
That's the worst part.
We'll do a follow-up video. We'll definitely do it. We'll probably.
Can we focus?
Go ahead.
Can we focus mostly on sports with the follow-up?
If sports starts, because if we have no sports, we have nothing to cover. There's no sports. What sports are we gonna cover?
I know.
Unless you want to talk about shit that happened years ago.
Dude, what the fuck do you... No, what I'm fucking talking about is the shutdowns, who has the virus in the fucking sports, or just the whole sports shutting down. And why we're all going crazy because...
Well, I told you earlier, right? Kevin Durant has it, right? They said he tested positive for it.
Yeah.
And Kyrie Irving and some other players, yeah.
But we're all going insane because we don't have sports. Fucking sports brings us together.
We want our sports, goddammit. We want our sports, and hopefully,
yes,
pray to the Lord himself that we can, or whoever is up above, or whatever you believe in, or whatever you don't believe in, like, we just pray anyway and just say, you know what, I just hope that we somehow can come together and overcome this obstacle, because right now it looks pretty bad. The whole world is basically shut down. I've never, ever thought I'd see something like this, ever.
Wow.
It's scary, and hopefully we can pull through. I predict we will, and I guess we'll just have to take it one day at a time. Hopefully one day I can put Sean Michael Polston on here with us, and we can do a, 3-part video to this.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and sign up out of here. So Stephen Rose, make sure to subscribe to my channel, Raptors Girl. She's on mainline on Facebook. So if you have any questions for her, I'll let her know, and then when we do a follow-up video in probably a week or so, sort of doing a little update, then we'll be glad to answer your questions. So until then, until next time, Steve Rose and it's Raptors Girl, and we are officially signing out. Peace. Say bye.
Peace.
Okay.